Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Sparta Elite 43 and tonight you've heard of Montana Madness. But have you ever heard of Louisiana Sadness? That's the question that we're asking today. You're about to. That's the only way I can say this. I do everything I can to give my team the advantage, and Lord have mercy, am I just paddling against, the current. It's impossible sometimes. And that's one thing you're going to have to learn to live with. Sometimes you're going to do everything in your power to carry your team, and your team is still not up to the task. All right? It's just the way it is. Imagine if the Navy SEALs were out there, and there's one man on the beach carrying the boat for the rest of the guys, and then the entire rest of the platoon just does nothing but sit in the mud. That's the way this match feels. I'm not joking. So there's going to be a few key things that I think lead to the downfall of this team. So this is a classic what went wrong video. Basically, we're going to try to break down where my team failed, where they can learn to do better, where I may have failed, and where I could learn to do better. Now, right off the bat, you'll see that I'm turning towards the right to try to help that side. Normally, I would push up to the Charlie cap and help that side, but you can see by the team that's headed that direction, they don't need no help. However, the guys on the right might, so I come over here to try to help them. Okay? So, again, I try to go to the weak side wherever possible. We got two destroyers going to the same location on the map. This is a huge red flag right off the gate. Anytime that you have multiple destroyers on your team in the same location, it almost always ends poorly. Generally, you want to spread them out. You want to have one destroyer spotting for one area of the map, another destroyer spotting for the other area of the map, and you can see they clearly have a destroyer in the Bravo cap already, and potentially have a destroyer in the Charlie cap already, but he leaves the Charlie cap. And that's when the Worcester is being spotted, and I'm like, okay, well, Worcester going in on the side of the map where my team has two destroyers seems like somebody it's a priority target, right? Getting rid of that high DPM radar cruiser is a huge deal. Now, we take the shot over the island. He had no idea this was coming, and we land all of it. That is so satisfying, I ain't gonna lie, because that guy had no clue. He's just over there doing his thing. He's like, yeah, I'm about to get me some DD action, and just blam, gone. But you'll notice that my destroyers really aren't doing anything. They're kind of just sitting there. And worse than that, they're behind islands. Well, at least one of them is. So he can't shoot anything, can't spot anything. The battleship is right next to him. This is all bad, right? And then our other destroyer is kind of like, they're pinging the map. The Kurfürst is pinging the map, and he's running sonar over there, or our guy's running sonar on this side. I don't know who's doing what. I know there's a Kurfürst on our side of the map. I'll just assume it was him. But we're going to go ahead and try to throw up some AP across the map on the Preußen to see if we can, throw him off of where he's at, right? Now, we have not done a great job of being able to get in position to use our planes yet, and that's one of the downsides. But fortunately, this Preußen, we did connect with him, but I think the Kurfürst actually connected harder. But you can see Preußen is clearly coming in here, and he's slowing down, so I'm thinking, okay, well, if he's going to stop and reverse after taking a big hit, I'm going to go ahead and drop those torps there. Turns out he did not stop and reverse. He's actually going to do the opposite of that. He's going to speed up and go forward, which is obnoxiously great gameplay by him, because that means I just missed all my torpedoes. It's the worst feeling in the world when you think somebody's going to... Well, I technically landed one, but that's nothing in the grand scheme of things. But we're going to try to put ourselves over here, but we don't want to put ourselves out there to be bullied by everything, right? That's where our Gross Kurfürst has gone wrong. He has overextended on this flank. And the problem is, he's up against so much firepower that you're going to go down. There's not a whole lot you can do. Eventually, they're going to kill you. But you can see Michelangelo's coming in here. We're going to go ahead and put a shot through the bow. We know we overmatch, and so we're just trying to get as much damage off of him as possible. Huge hit, and I'd be honest, the Louisiana with Riker is starting to swing hard, right? We are running Commander Riker as our commander for the battle carriers now, and they do wake up quite a bit more. You get the accuracy and consistency out of the main guns, as well as getting your airstrikes and stuff to be good. But Michelangelo here, you can see he's about to commit the ultimate sin, so I'm like, okay, I'll just wait. And then about the time I fire the guns, then the Alaska just finishes him off, which is great. but it is one of those where I kind of wish he'd have done it a little sooner so that I would have been able to do what I got to do. Now, Hindenburg is coming over here. I think it's Hindenburg. Yeah, Hindenburg's coming over here as well. Unfortunately, we lost our Kurfürst, and you can look at the positioning of the Kurfürst and see why we lost the Kurfürst. But now I'm being forced to run. And our Napoli here has done nothing up to this point. This Napoli has been launching torpedoes. He is a torpedo boat, apparently. I didn't know super cruiser like a Napoli was a torpedo boat, but he's done nothing up to this point other than launch torpedoes repeatedly. Which is fine, but there comes a time when you're going to have to take a fight. You know what I mean? But here we get a beautiful looking shot at the Hindenburg, but unfortunately the island is going to dictate how far forward we can aim, so we get a bunch of overpins by hitting the back of the ship. Now, if you're paying attention, our team kind of just YOLOs forward on that left flank, and they have completely been obliterated. We dedicated about half our team to that flank, and both of our destroyers, and they just got wiped out. Like, they are just getting wiped out. Hindenburg gets into the center of the map. Our Alaska's not long for this world, unfortunately. We get hit by the, I believe it's the Yama in the back. So we have the Preußen, the Yama, the Hindenburg, the Michelangelo, all on this flank, right? Not to mention random destroyer that was in the middle of the map. But the enemy has not lost a single destroyer up to this point. We have lost all of our cruisers except for the super cruiser that's a torpedo boat. And this Yama, at this point, you got to make a decision, right? Like, we can't run forever. If we continue to run, we can see on the other side of the map that our team is failing, and you can see I still have a destroyer sitting behind an island over there, just being useless. And this is again the number one cause of a team just getting absolutely throttled is bad destroyer play. It just is. But here you can see we get a huge run of torpedoes on the Yama, which is great. But that's going to force this Yama to do the dumbest thing he could possibly do, which is you don't ever go broadside, especially at close range. You don't ever go broadside when somebody's capable of shooting you in a Yama. You just don't, because you're dead. There is no passcode, no collect $200. You guys know the answer. When the Yama does this turn, he is effectively rolling over, and he's already buried himself, right? Like, all he's doing now is praying to God that I'm the worst player on the planet, which, believe it or not, I'm not. But if RNG can save him, it will. And that is enough to make you want to cry. Now, here, I'm contemplating using the rear turret of justice here, but I also know that that's death for me. So I rethink it, and I'm like, okay, I better not do that. Even me, as you know, much experience as I have, I know that I can slap that Yama, and you can see he's aiming too far forward here. If he aims a little further back, I think he just sends me to the Shadow Realm right then and there. But thankfully, he just doesn't, he's not aware of that. But we're going to use our spotter plane this time. We're going through the rear cheek. I've talked about this many a times, but you can see that, again, RNG just says, go f yourself. That's all it is. Like, we've had some pretty good RNG up to this point, but, you know, there is a time RNG giveth and RNG taketh away. Now, this time he does shoot a little further back, but thankfully we're already angled, so he doesn't do a lot of damage there. But he makes the mistake as I screw up once, right, and we do land all of our torpedoes there, 6 on target, but I know the shot's working. I just got to get it to land, and there it is. We get the double citadel through the rear cheek. The rear cheek is just like the front cheek, except I think, honestly, it's easier to citadel through the rear cheek, but man, he RNG of the gods to land that many shells, and then we're getting shot from behind from the guys across the map, so I'm like, okay, time to go forward. And we are going to get a heal off. This is our last heal. You can see that he is trying to go forward again, so we got to try to place this shot. And again, we want to go through the rear cheek, and we do manage to slam the shot home. And again, like, it's unfortunate that we had to take so much damage there, because I'm pretty confident that if I had gotten that first shot through the cheek, then we would have been able to save some of our hit points. But unfortunately, you wish in one hand and crap in the other and see which one fills up first, right? But I don't go down without fighting, right? We're at $191,000 damage. We've done everything that we can to carry this team, but it's time to put ourselves in a position where we can potentially help with the grabbing a cap as well. The cap in itself isn't going to help us win this, but it at least gets me into a position where I can kind of dictate who comes at me, right? Like, I know that there's a Preußen chasing around the map right now. So at this point, oh, this hurt. I ain't gonna lie, this one hurt. Getting stuck on this island is slowing me down I was ready to throw something. I ain't gonna lie. There was no reason I was stuck on this island right here. I had plenty of room. But that's just one of those weird things that just drive you crazy. But here, we have to anticipate what the Hindenburg is going to do. It's hard to hit a cruiser that pays attention with these torpedoes because they take so long to get there. But we are going to get the rear turn of justice out there, and we aren't spotted. And he wasn't paying attention, and he's going to pay the price as we land almost the entire rack against him. But 4 torpedoes finding their home, bringing us up 213,000 damage, and we're going to try to put ourselves in the backside of Alpha. And unfortunately, as you can see it, shockingly, our team basically did nothing. The Napoli ran away for the entire match, doesn't do crap, and then just ends up being in a position where everybody can shoot him anyway, and he's going to end up going down eventually. But we're sonared right now. What does that mean? That means we're within 6 kilometers of that Preußen is what it means. We know for a fact that Preußen is right here. We know that they have the sonar that's a 6-kilometer sonar. So we know that we're within 6 kilometers. And we know we already took a shot earlier, so we know that he was chasing. So what I do next is I knowingly anticipate this, so I'm going to go ahead and try to beach myself on the island, get as much of a left turn as I can here, to get ourselves turned around and wait for this guy to come around the corner. You can see Hindenburg taking some shots at us over the island. No big deal. We're hopefully going to go dark, but unfortunately I don't think that's going to happen. This Preußen, I think, also is running the RGA mod, which allows him to spot me within 3 kilometers, which is why I don't spot him, but he spots me. But you can see as I'm reversing around the corner, I'm capturing the base. I've got 8 seconds left. I'm expecting a shot from the Preußen here, and you can see this is worse. I have to rush the shot, and I kind of screwed the pooch on that one, I ain't gonna lie. I thought he'd be a lot quicker to fire the guns. Fortunately, we get the solo cap, but yeah, at this point, we know we're dead. We're never going to get reloaded before he reloads. We don't have the planes. Unfortunately, I dropped the torpedoes on land, which apparently doesn't work. I heard torpedoes that are dropped on land get some sort of an attack bonus, but apparently that's not true. Obviously, I'm joking. I know torpedoes dropped on land don't work, but dude, we put in a heck of a fight. 2,175 base XP, top of the leaderboard, over 230,000 damage done, and it was just sadness all around. So I hope that this kind of gives you guys something to chuckle at, because you guys get to see that, man, no matter what you do, sometimes there is just not enough teammate on your team. But the other thing is, like, paying attention to what the enemy or what your team is doing, and understanding that the more you play the game, the more you understand about the game, the more you'll see how not understanding and how dumb the rest of the players are most of the time, because they don't understand basic concepts. And that's what ultimately leads to so many veteran players that have been around the game for so long getting, what is the word I'm looking for? Not disingenuous. What's the word I'm talking about? Or I'm thinking of? Disinterested, I guess, or I don't know. There's another dis word in there that I'm trying to think of, and my brain ain't working here at 6 o'clock in the morning. But either way, basically, all I'm saying is, games like this, the more you understand about the game, the more you recognize when other people don't. And that can be incredibly frustrating. But at the end of the day, you can't control that. So you just got to play your best game and pray to God that your team can somehow find a way. And unfortunately, they are not like life. They do not find a way more often than not. And if you like what I'm doing, punch a like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.